Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Penalty Loop Podcast, a podcast about biathlon by Jordan Gottschalk from Penalty Loop and a regular guest, RJ Weiss from Biathlon Analytics.
Good evening, RJ.
Good evening. Early evening.
Early evening, earlier than normal.
Yeah. We just couldn't wait.
That was too exciting.
Because you gotta get something off your chest, I think.
I do. So I wanted to do this first because I didn't want to think about it later. I just was thinking about just talking about Julia Simon. She returned. Obviously, it was brought up on, I think, every single women's race, at least. Don't remember about the men's races or not, but she returned. And, I feel really conflicted about it because I think I've said many times before how much I enjoy watching her race. I think that just watching her as a biathlete can be incredibly exciting. She's a showman for sure. Some of the things she's done in relays, especially in pursuits, the huge comeback she's had, the way she can go into that final shoot and just lay it down can be incredibly exciting. And I really enjoyed that, especially the last 3 or 4 years when she's really raised her level to one of the best in the world. But I just found myself really feeling weird watching her. And then especially listening to Lou's interview afterwards and hearing about some of the abuse that was pointed at Justine. And Justine, to her credit, gave an amazing interview today, basically saying that, you don't blame Simone for the crazy actions of the fans and whatnot. But
So was it the French? Because I haven't really seen all the details on that, but the French fans were going after Justine.
Yeah, Justine on social media, and there were threats against her daughter and stuff like that. And it was just really gross. Really gross.
And for what, though? What did she do wrong?
Because she spoke out against Simone, and I don't even know what I can't even put my brain in their headspace because I just don't. I can't get there, right? I just don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. And then, like I said, listening to Lou talking about how it's not a great atmosphere and not the way she wanted to spend her time as a professional biathlete. And even things that weren't said. There was a post to Antoine, I think it was Antoine Guigonaz's Instagram story where there was a story about Simone coming back, and he put in victims, and just reading between the lines, there's a lot of still unhealed wounds, I think, and I don't know for certain. This is just what I heard, from the interviews and from the broadcast, that there was a world, I think, in which Simone could have come back and just hey, I'm sorry, it happened. I apologize. What can I do to make it better? And it just sounds like that didn't happen. And I don't know, maybe I heard that on Friday. So maybe things changed, Saturday and Sunday, but it just sort of rubbed me the wrong way. And it made me sad. I think I said it made me sad just because, like I said, I've enjoyed watching her so much, and to know that things behind the scenes are just so rough. And I like all of these athletes. I really enjoy watching them perform, and I enjoy her as an athlete. What she has done recently in her, I guess, non on the course life has just been very disappointing. And I was hoping that with the trial behind and coming out and saying I did it, that she would come to the team and say, I'm sorry for the stress, I'm sorry for everything that happened. And it just sounds like that didn't happen, and I'm disappointed. And I more even than anything else that happened on the course, that's just something that's been kind of hanging over me. And I feel bad even that it does that, because there were great performances this weekend and a lot that I want to talk about. But this was just the thing that has just been on my mind since Friday. I just had to bring it up because I want to get it done. Just want to mention it so we can go talk about the racing.
It's hard. I'll admit that I've had a couple times where, you see Giacomel miss, she doesn't look herself, and it's really hard not to think that it has something to do with the atmosphere in the team, which I realize I could be 100% off on it. But I don't know. I just think a good team atmosphere and a good relationship within the team helps really tremendously to feel good and to perform well. And I cannot imagine that this would not have at least some negative effect. And what I kind of find interesting is that it overshadows something that to me is more concerning. Because yes, Simon, took a credit card, stole money, but it was always more on a personal level, where tinkering with your teammate's rifle, and I can't imagine that she was trying to improve it, right? Like, to me, the fact that person is still on the team, that really shocks me. Because it's one thing to not feel like you can trust somebody on a personal level, but on, in the race that you're still able to see each other as valued competitors and teammates at the same time. But to have somebody on your team who's, again, on the information that I have, but I can't really imagine it being something else, purposefully tinkering with your rifle to make you fail, that is absolutely shocking to me.
And the only thing I can think of as far as that goes is that there's just no hard evidence, right? There's no camera or something like that, but still. Yeah. And that the only person who saw it was another teammate who, right, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to go down that road. But I agree, right? If that is actually what happened, then I just don't know. I don't know how you would, I mean, just even if you are, in your free time spending as little time as possible with that person, I still don't know how you are. It's really difficult to imagine.
I will say though, for Simon, from what I heard, and Dexy mentioned it on the German broadcast as well, that she basically came back to the team and didn't say anything other than, well, it feels good to be back on the team. That's something I can't imagine that for her, it's also a completely new, awkward situation. And I can't imagine that it's hard to do the right thing. Right? Because it could also be one of those, well, let's move on and not talk about it anymore. But at the same time, if you apologize, then maybe that will lead to a discussion, et cetera, et cetera. So I do think it's really hard to do the right thing. And what one person thinks is the right thing might be the complete opposite for someone else. So,
yeah, it's true.
And I think that's the hard thing. And that's, what also was referred to on a number of broadcasts is that when was, doing some shooting practice in a hotel. The Norwegians dealt with it right away, said, this has happened. It was wrong. He is not going to race tomorrow. He will, as a punishment. And they were very open and clear about what happened as far as we know. And that was it. And, it was in the news and it was a hot item for a day or two. And then everything was settled. And of course, it's not like he was shooting at a teammate. I think that would have changed things a bit. But they nipped it in the bud, right? They dealt with it. They were open and honest about it and moved on, where this has been going on for so long.
I mean, literally years.
And then, of course, you also get, when the news came out about Richard maybe tinkering with a rifle. And then it's, people quickly draw the connection between Richard and Simon being friends. So is there sort of, which may be completely unrelated, but it's hard to see them as separate incidents. So it's just, if you and I are already thinking about it and being in a race and seeing Jean-Monod miss twice in a shooting, which is quite out of the ordinary for her, and that you automatically start thinking, oh, I wonder if this has to do with, I can only imagine what effect it has in the team. But I don't know. There's probably a lot of things we don't know and we'll never know. and how fans respond. I mean, social media is just, how, and we don't know a lot about what happened there, but we've learned some things about what Vogt was getting, having to deal with on social media a season or two ago, and I'm sure there's a lot of other incidents like that we just luckily, but that we don't know about because it's not shared. It's just, yeah, like to go after somebody, and yeah. Anyway, I think we shouldn't even talk about it and give people like that a minute of our attention.
Like I said,
but
I can't even get my head into that space to understand how you think like that and process like that. And in spite of all of this,
it's one thing if she would pushed her off the track,
This is true. Yeah.
And it still doesn't justify like lashing out at somebody and threatening something about her daughter. That's just beyond imagination. But I mean, yeah, anyway, I don't know.
In spite of all of this, Lou looks great in the sprint. She finishes 7th in the pursuit. Camille is 6th in both races. Justine with a great pursuit. I mean, and still, and in spite of all this sort of chaos, there's great things happening on the World Cup, not to even mention the incredible success the French are having on the IBU Cup in the junior level right now. So it's we've said this a million times before, but that they are able to be so successful in spite of this chaos, you almost wonder like how much better could they be? I mean, it's almost not even possible to be much better, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Lou was like 30th today in isolated time.
All right. Well, with that behind us, you want to talk about the actual racing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So nobody can see this except for me, but on our little Riverside window, it's got our names. We can type in there, and mine says Penalty Loop Podcast. RJ, what does yours say?
Anna's fan club.
Yeah, let's hear it. What was it like? What was it like watching it this week?
Well, let me say right off the bat that the Swedish suit is the best suit for a yellow bib wearer. I don't know if they purposefully color matched it, but it looks pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mentioned her a couple seasons ago as an athlete that I've always followed and liked, despite for a majority of the time being in the shadow of the Oberg sisters and some of the young talent coming up and winning races. She had a really good preseason, and she's proving that wasn't a fluke, and she's in yellow. Clearly not failing under pressure because
no.
Her results show that she can handle it, at least at this stage in the season. And I think her previous only win was in Annecy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's where we're going now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, I know there were some circumstances with certain skis not working very well. Oh, no, because she skis Fischer too, right?
And this was even before that, because I think it was because she won the sprint. And no, this was in the sprint. And then it was the next race, the pursuit, is when everything went funky with the Fischer skis.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right, so I guess there was no asterisks behind that win then.
Nope.
But yeah, no, it's just awesome to see. There are a lot of things to like. Like, I think she's officially the smallest woman on the World Cup, and the fact that she just proves that size doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You can be super tall and win. You can be smaller, and win. And the way she's shooting, especially her prone, like I was joking to you about, I wonder how the IBU does it, how they edit out the little strings that they have the rifles hanging off, because some of them are just so incredibly stable. And, standing, you'll always see a little bit of movement, although it's still hard to see with some of them. But her prone looks so solid. I don't know. It's just, it's a lot of, it's great to see, and being longtime fan of her.
Yes.
It just, makes me happy to see that. And, Team Finland with the yellow bib.
Mm-hmm.
In the relay, and I was also, I think I sent you a screenshot of the men's pursuit today was it after the first? Yeah, it was the second leg, I think. So the nations we had was France, Norway, Italy, Germany, then USA, Czech Republic, Swiss, Austria, Canada, Finland, Estonia, Sweden, Belgium. I think there was another section where I think that in the top 10 there were 8 non-typical top nations. And I know it typically by the end of the last leg it kind of sorts itself out.
Not so much this week though.
Right. But I mean, I mean more like it wasn't the first. We still see Norway, France, Sweden on the podium, right? But it's just great to see where, and I was very impressed with the Canadians, specifically their shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a moment where in the third leg, I think it was Fleming who, only 20 years old, and he was trying to keep up. Well, he was keeping up with, I think it was Ponsaloma and Horn. He was in that group. And I was already kind of thinking, is that a wise thing? But his shooting, you may have noticed, was really slow. But I thought it was actually really mature that he just took his time. Because, you're tempted to kind of go along and shoot as fast as you can. But if you also, that's always funny, right? Because you talk about fast skiers and not fast skiers. And I think a lot of them, I mean, you have your Ponsalomas, for example, that are just, a little above. And there's many others that qualify like that. But I think the majority of them can keep up a high speed in a group. But then it's more, some can do that and still feel fine, relatively fine. And some do that and they feel maxed out and they can still keep up. But then when you come to the range, it's much difference between somebody who's comfortable with that compared to someone whose heart rate is probably a little bit higher than they want to and that kind of thing. So then and I don't know if that was the case with Fleming, but that's kind of the impression I got. And the fact that he just takes his time and puts a pretty darn good shooting down was pretty impressive for a 20-year-old who's
very cool.
Yeah, new in the World Cup. So
yeah, I want to get back to Anna Magnusson in a second, but the Canadians today, I mean, they looked very good. The Canadian men, Runnels and Logan Pletz, when they finished, I think Logan was actually in 9th place, but he was really only 10 seconds back from the podium position at that point.
Well, and I think he was in 5th, and then it was just a tied group, and it was just a grouping, exactly.
I mean, that's really cool. I mean, for Logan especially, that was a really awesome, and Adam Runnels got them off very well. And then Zach Connolly coming over just for the relay had a really nice closing leg as well.
No kidding.
What did they finish up? 11th, but I think on that leg he had the 6th or 7th best closing leg. I just really, really happy with how they did. I thought Adam had a good sprint as well. I think he was
1 spare,
30th.
Logan 0 spares, Fleming 4, and Connolly 2.
That's awesome.
You can expect or ask them to be clean, but you can't expect more or better shooting than that. It's not like everybody else was shooting clean either. So.
And Runnels was 32nd in the sprint. And then the women, Paradis was 46th and Moser 55th. And then Paradis got herself into the points in the pursuit today as well, got up to 38th. So I again, we talked about it last week. This is going to be a growth year, but it feels like there's positive momentum, right? You see some of these young guys coming in. I want to mention Luke
Shiloh was
Shiloh. Yeah. A very good, the Canadian women, I wanted to mention this too. Nadia Moser had a bad leg, but everybody else in the women's relay actually did really well. On the Junior Cup, Luke Holshoff was in the top 10 today.
Nice.
for the
Nice.
and Benjamin Brousseau and Luke as well were both top 20 in an earlier race this weekend as well. So there's some pretty cool stuff going on with the Canadian team. I'm really feeling those young guys coming up, and because everybody but a couple of them are like 25 and younger. So it's going to be a few years, but it's coming.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the U.S., but they had a pretty good weekend too.
Pretty good too. But I wanted to go back to Anna. You mentioned her season and not being overwhelmed, being in yellow. That was the coolest thing to me, was that she gets the yellow bib after the sprint, and she has a day to think about it with the relay, and then goes out in the pursuit, and she's starting in a podium position, and you could easily have seen a moment where it's like it just sort of the shooting falls apart late, the pressure gets to her.
Yeah.
But it clearly did not. I think she was 0010 for the day on the range, and that's just awesome and especially going in there with Vittozzi and knowing that you got to go clean on that last one for the race.
Yeah.
And not just, it's almost like the yellow bib, she just didn't notice it, and I'm sure she did, but it didn't
Maybe
seem
that's
like
the
it.
advantage of the Swedish shoot, that it doesn't stand out as much, right?
Maybe it's the same shade yellow as the rest of the jersey. It seems like, so maybe she just didn't notice it, or maybe they practiced in it all off season. But you have been a fan of hers for a while, but I think she hits sort of one of my soft spots as well, which is somebody who is not in the limelight. She's had both Ubergs, and she's had Lynn Jesblom for a while, and Sarah Anderson. There's a lot of pressure on her coming up, and Ella Halverson. So she's been a little bit sort of on the back burner, and I love when these athletes, no matter how long it lasts, whether it's all season long like Suvi did last year, or if it's even just a few weeks, just to have that moment in the sun to say, hey, look, I'm really good too. This is what I can do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And this is fun. And I'm sure she's gaining herself so many fans right now. Just not that people didn't know who she was, but just to see that, hey, she can be one of the best. I love it. It makes me happy.
And what I like too is that the Obergs are not having a bad season. I know Elvira missed a race, but some other women that look good. I thought Ermitz had Regina Ermitz.
Yes.
Awesome weekend.
Huge performance today. She tied her career best with 8th. Moved up from, was it 24th, 22nd, somewhere in that range. From the sprint, she went perfect today and looked so happy at the finish. That was really neat. So her second career top 10. That was pretty awesome. Early on, I wanted to mention Leah Meyer, who finished in 14th today, which is not only a big career best, but also qualifies her for the Olympics. So that's really awesome. Congratulations, Leah. She looked really good in the summertime. She had some really good skiing, but I didn't know if, roller skis to snow skis, if it was going to transition, but it certainly did. Definitely her best skiing she's ever shown, and I'm really excited about that. And
7th isolated time today.
Very cool. I will always remember her because we saw her in Holm, and I know I've told this story before, but we were walking in and we were talking about spike ball with her, and she goes, yeah, we're not very good spike ball players. And she goes something like, we're not very good biathletes either. And I was like, no, you guys are great. And so it's, I always remember that, and just, it just makes me want good things for her. So really happy to see that going. And if you aren't watching on Instagram, she's doing like a motivational thing to keep in your mind every day on Instagram up until Christmas. So that's kind of cool too. Oh, and this might be a good transition to the Americans, but Deidre Irwin finishing 17th back-to-back races. That was her first top 20 since the first race of last year. And I think her first back-to-back top 20s in her career. And you might be hearing from her at some point in the next few days. Just putting that out there.
There was also, I saw a story of, just trying to quickly find it here, that it's been 20 years since Simon Ader's first race in Hochfilzen. I think this was his, I think they said 57th race at Hochfilzen.
That's pretty
Just
nuts.
unbelievable, right?
That's
and
pretty
there was
nuts.
a video of him. A teammate was watching or on his phone listening to the alpine skiing where Lindsey Vonn made a comeback at 41 years old
41.
and winning a World Cup.
Yep.
So maybe that inspired Siminator even more.
Yeah, you got to keep going. Yep. Do you want to talk about the men for a minute?
Yeah.
So right now, and I don't know if this would qualify as a hot take or not, but I think that if you looked at the top 6 in the overall, that these will be the top 6 in the overall at the end of the season. And I mentioned this particularly because all of these guys performed well this weekend. Right now it's Boden, Giacomel, Perrot, Samuelson, Kenton Fiumae, and Laegreid. And then beyond, after him, there's Philip Horn, Martin Uldal, Vetle Christiansen, Campbell Wright, Martin Ponsaloma is in 11th. And that, I mean,
are you
really,
even thinking like same order?
No, not same order. But I think
Okay.
that these, I think that sometimes, we talked before the season about, even last week that some of the big names weren't performing well yet necessarily. And there they are. They're all at the top. So it didn't take long. They clustered up there.
Yeah.
So, this week we had
Giacomel is still pretty low, right?
Yeah, he'll
15th.
come along.
Yeah. Noticeable though is that top 5 has only one Norwegian.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it goes to 4 Norwegians in the top 10, but
yeah, the was it 2 years ago when they think Norway they had 5 of the top 6?
mm-hmm.
Feels safe to say that will not
crazy
happen
like
this year. I like how much, having France and Italy and Norway and Germany and USA and Sweden, they're all up there. It just feels fun. And I think especially
totally
Giacomel and Perrot, like I watched them this weekend and think that could be the next 5 years, right? Just not just
and
those two guys, but
I think they're pretty cool buddies. Like
yeah,
they're
you think
pretty
them,
close. Eh?
You throw in Hartweg and when he's healthy and Campbell, and I think it's
well, and the young Norwegians,
fun generation. All the yeah. Of course, the Norwegians. So
I'm starting to I'm slowly getting into that mindset again that Perrot is has a good chance of being the next Fourcade, JT Bow kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy who dominates.
Like the confidence and just the fun that he's having. And yeah, if your results are good, then you're going to have fun. But shooting, like today, I thought in the relay was interesting because, he really didn't have much to gain or lose in his standing shooting. And I don't know if he figured just going to practice if I still had a chance, what I could do shooting really fast. But, he definitely seemed to go for it. And then also, because I think he had all 3 spares.
I don't remember.
Because I think his last shot, even if he would have missed, he would have had the penalty loop and then still would have been fine with the
still
position.
Would have been safe. Yeah.
But then to just also be able to nail that last shot that you have.
Yeah.
I don't know. He seems pretty strong, pretty laid back, cool headed. Seems to have made up with QFM.
I say this with all the respect in the world because that's genuinely how I mean it. He made the pursuit boring. Like he just was so good that he got to the and again he gets to the final shoot and he easily could have blown it, right? But there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to hit the shots. I was like, okay. He's got that cool, that calm attitude, and I'm probably portraying too much confidence. I just had no confidence. I just no doubt in my mind that he was gonna finish the job, so to speak.
I know, hey. Yeah, because even with his, probably laissez-faire final lap of the race, he was still 8 seconds faster in isolated time than Johannes Dahl
So
Schäfdahl.
Yeah.
Who, it's possible that some of these other guys also didn't have to sprint for it, but anyway, and Rolia,
Yeah.
6th isolated time today.
We mentioned him last week. I will always cheer for him.
Not today, yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah. I gotcha. Yep. Oh, can we mention Philip Horn?
No, well, actually, no, we didn't. And I was going to mention the German team overall had a great weekend. I think you asked me last week what the general feeling was about the German team, and how I think if you just look at the numbers was somewhat disappointing, where I think this season they were involved in all races. Horn, obviously, first podium. The relays did very well. I think, am I forgetting a good result? Was it Vogt who did really well in the women's
sprint
pursuit?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. She did very well in the sprint. She was 7th, I think, in the 7th in the sprint, and Anna Vital was 8th.
So anyway, it's good to see them do well and be in the mix.
Yes,
really enjoyed that. So
very happy for Philip Horn, sort of another one of those guys who has had to work really hard to get where he is, to get that podium. Our good friend Biathlon Stats posted, and I was surprised by this, that I think he said 10 consecutive races between podiums for the German men, and that was the longest streak in biathlon history. So that's pretty wild. And Philip Horn ended that.
And I might be off. Maybe it happened already last week, but I was hearing that Horn is now qualified for the Olympics on the German team.
And I think qualified now. Yeah,
Narath and Strelo are like one leg qualified already. Like they're really hard to imagine that they wouldn't be.
I'm just so happy for
which is also
Horn.
Something that must take the pressure off a bit, right?
Yeah. Just be loose and go out there and do it. Mm-hmm. So congratulations to Philip Horn. Great job on that first podium. It just seems like a really good guy. I'm happy about that.
Mm-hmm. The Campbell talk I had with him, hey?
Yeah, that was it. That's all he needed. Yeah.
That was a switch. Yeah, Campbell Wright seemed to struggle with skiing a little bit, hey? Well, I mean, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
But I said that last week, and then he had a fast ski time. But
yeah, it wasn't quite on the same level as Ostersund. Maybe the wax wasn't as good, but the results were there though.
Yeah,
7th in the sprint and 8th in the pursuit, and obviously the relay was fantastic, finishing in 4th. Wanted to mention this: the U.S. men, they have now finished. Top 10, I think, is 9 of the last 10 relays, and that is the best that they've ever done by far in terms of like most times in the top 10. But they also have, in that same stretch, they have their most number of top 6 finishes. So they are not just finishing in the top 10, but they are getting in the top 6 consistently. And I know Campbell is chomping at the bit to get them on the podium. So I just get that. I don't, like if it happens in the Olympics, amazing, but if I just would like to see it happen no matter where it is. I think it'd be very, very cool to see them up there.
And he proved me wrong again, because in the relay, he had the second ski time in his leg, only behind Samuelsson.
Maybe that's a sign though, is it's looking so easy for him that he's not looking, like his normal Campbell Wright,
I don't know. I don't want to burn him here, but I think it's a little bit of the opposite. The same with Benny Dole.
Yeah.
They seem to be burning so much energy that you feel like it can be the fast skiing that you would hope for, but it works. So he proved me wrong with my
I thought it was
assessment.
It was almost cool how unexciting it was that he finished in 7th and 8th. Not unexciting. It was still very exciting, but
No, but I hear you. Yeah.
it wasn't like, whoa, Campbell Wright was in the top 10, but it was like, all right, that's kind of where he belongs. He was
off day.
in the top 10. Yeah.
His shooting too is so impressive. He had a number of final shootings where he just shot clean, I think, this weekend.
Mm-hmm. I'm the one today was awesome. I think it was him and Sturla were really close, and Sturla, amazing shooter, and Campbell just went bam, 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 got him, and Sturla had the 2 extra rounds. It's kind of neat. I love Sturla, by the way, obviously. A big fan of his.
Did you see his prone?
Who, Campbell?
No, Sturla.
No.
18 seconds prone.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Oh, you want to talk fast shooting? Did you see Lisa Vittozzi's shooting time today? I want to get these correct because they are pretty ridiculous. So Lisa Vittozzi, I wanted to bring her up at some point because what she did today was fantastic. Coming from 14th, just over a minute back. This was, I think, the 3rd biggest comeback by a woman in pursuit history. That, don't quote me on that. It's somewhere in that range, though. It's one of the biggest ever. Obviously, going 20 for 20 makes a huge difference. That's how you do it, right? Is you go perfect. She went 20 for 20, though. These were her shooting times, starting with it going prone, standing, 20.3, 20.7, 21.9, 21.8. I just,
crazy.
It doesn't compute. And she needed all that time.
And my first thought is, like that her standing and prone are almost the same time.
It's nuts, isn't it? I'm telling you, it's what I'm saying.
I feel like I'm missing something. Like her prone shooting is faster than her standing shooting?
I don't know. I now it's something I want to look at, but that's just crazy to me. For her first shooting, it says the first shooting, and this is from the app, the time to the first shot was 9.8 seconds for the first prone. Just got to the mat, did like a belly flop to get into position, and I don't know. It just blows my mind. And then to win the race by 11 seconds, but she left the range after the last shoot with a 6-second margin on Magnusson. So it's not like just going clean would have maybe gotten her the win, but she needed all that time that she gained shooting. That is an incredible race.
Yeah.
And Italy, by the way, now has wins by Doro, Giacomel, and Vittozzi. So their 3 big guns all have wins before the end of the second week. Those Italian fans, man, they got to be so happy.
Yeah. I know she was talking about how it was a really, really rough year last year with being out with the back injury, but in a way, I feel like that it might also be a benefit for her this year. Because I know when you have a back injury, I'm assuming that that's not necessarily good for recovery, but at the same time, there's a lot of other parts in your body that probably got way more rest.
And
we'll see.
Who knows? I don't know the specifics of her back injury and the treatment plan, of course, but there's a lot of work you can do on other things. So this shooting speed, maybe that is the result of having a year of not racing. You just get a chance to focus on something else. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah. I
was also really impressed with Maren Kirkeeide this weekend.
Yeah, no kidding.
2nd and 3rd obviously is huge, but it almost feels like, in a way, and I mentioned this on social media, that she's graduating sort of like Perrot did last year, where she's graduating from being up and coming young talent to got to start including her in the list of people who are in the overall mix, right? She's clearly there. Her ski speed, in the sprint, I mean, this just was crazy to me that she had 1 miss and still only lost to Lou by 15.3 seconds.
Yeah.
And Lou was clean. I mean, that's and Lou's not slow. Let's be clear. Lou's not slow, and Kirkeeide was doing that well. I'm very impressed.
So is she the number one athlete then on the women.
She
for
has
Norway?
to be. I mean, she is.
Yeah.
She has the real chance at wearing yellow, and I hope for tangible that can take some pressure off. Like you know.
I do. I actually made a note of that she seems to smile a bit more again.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of revolt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that it takes some pressure off and she can just relax and not focus on results, focus on the process of getting ready for the big races and getting her performance back where it is. Also, Knotten, I think, was top 10 in the sprint. She was 9th. So it was nice to see also.
Yeah, no, it's... Yeah.
And had a
and
huge
solid leg today.
Yes. Really dragged him back into it, back into podium position, and really almost put it away, like secured them in the second spot. That was very, very good. Obviously nothing is secure until it's done, but just, it was very impressive. So I was really happy to see that. Apparently Bjorndalen decided that now was the time that he wanted to speak about the Knoten situation during the racing this weekend. I don't know why, but yeah, he chimed in about, I think his direct quote was, "I'm embarrassed to be Norwegian," about that, but I don't know.
How they handled her?
Yeah.
Or how they dealt with the situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's expressed before, right, that he wasn't really happy what happened. But talking about impressive, I would have not expected when I saw Laegreid and QFM leave at the exchange together pretty much, that Laegreid would end their leg almost a minute faster.
Crazy.
He was feeling it today.
Yeah, that felt like a statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was faster than Ponzi for just skiing.
Yeah.
That is obviously the skis were good, but he was feeling excellent.
Yeah.
Funny story. I have had this recurring thought that he is shooting really poorly, especially with his standing. And he is, relative to his normal amazing self. He's hitting, I think, 5.6% or something like that standing, which would be the worst of his career.
Awful.
Right, but how awful. His overall hit rate is still 91.2%, which is, oh yeah, he's having a terrible year shooting. He's only hitting 91%.
Yeah. Man,
I had to laugh. That was because he sets the bar so high.
Last year with Ader having a bad season for shooting because he only shot 88% or something.
Yeah, I know. I think I looked at the actual number of shots, and I think he has 2 less standing hits than Perrot and 1 less than Giacomel. And just my thought was that he's not doing as well standing as they are, but he's right there.
Yeah.
He could go to Annecy. He could come out with 2 wins, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit.
The only thing that would surprise me if he would be out of the top 10 for any of those races.
Oh yeah. His floor is so high.
Yeah.
Where is he in the overall right now? He's got to be 5th, 6th.
Yeah, 6th.
Yeah, not that it's.
I must say I'm pretty impressed with Christiansen so far.
Mm-hmm. He's
and Dala
really
too, actually.
Yeah, Dala especially. But
like Dala, you can't send him back.
No, Christiansen seems really at ease with his situation right now, and I don't know if what's going on, but he's been kind of prickly the last couple of years, and this is not. It's
those nasty Bow brothers, right?
That's what I was going to say. I think he's obviously very good friends with them. I don't think that's what's happening, but yeah, I don't know if he and Laegreid seem really tight. And on the podium, apparently he started like doing karaoke and like back and forth with the crowd. And
and he's always been a bit of a joker, and I mean it in a positive, in a good way. But it's almost like he's just given up on trying to contain that and just having a blast.
Yeah, good for him.
And I mean, it must have been a rough year when there was sort of the pressure of being sent down. And did he get sent down last year? I think so. Hey?
Yeah. For a big chunk of it.
Didn't he take a week off before Christmas or was something like that?
Mm-hmm. And then I didn't finish the year. Like he just, the last week of the season, he just went home. Not like
yeah.
leaving or going home, but yeah, it was obviously in consultation. But yeah, I think Dala, you can't send him back. I think he'll stay.
Did you see the interview with Vittozzi today?
I did.
Being back on top of the podium after.
No, I didn't see that one.
Her year.
No.
Yeah, she was very emotional, very understandable. Because, when you come back from a big injury and being off for a year, there's got to be some doubt, like, can I still compete? So to be back on there must be a tremendous relief of doubt and stress.
I'm so happy for her. She did the did you see this? She did that like bow as she was coming across the line.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
did you see she said it was a phoenix that she was trying to do, like a phoenix rising. That was kind of cool.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, no, I didn't.
But she knows how to come
sort
back.
of her trademark. Because she's done it before, right? Kind of. I always took it as like a bow to the crowd, but.
Yeah, I apparently it's a phoenix. The way she came back from the shooting and now coming back from the back. Yeah. So I couldn't be happier for her. That's just so cool.
Yeah. But we're kind of skipping over the fact that we have some French women, despite all the things happening in the team, that are young and still doing amazing. Camille Bened.
You want to mention one in particular?
Michelon. Hey?
I said, do you want to mention one in particular? Our good friend?
Well, yeah, you tried to throw me off today. That was well, we talk about Bened because you were alluding to the fact that something happened to her rifle and that she was going to do pretty bad. And I think she did all right in the shooting range, right?
Just okay. Yeah, just okay.
I was getting suspicious after the first prone shooting. I'm like, if there's something wrong with your rifle and shooting clean.
Yeah. Yep. She said after the race that something happened, but I didn't see or hear specifically what it was. So maybe it was.
I mean, it could have been either snow in the diopter or it falling off her shoulder or something like that. But again, did you also see? And I think it was also by chance that the first coach was a German, but was it Anna Weidel that fell?
When?
In the I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but one of the German girls fell, and then Lynamo,
right behind
the
her,
Finnish girl, kind of fell and broke both her poles.
Yeah,
and the first coach that gave her both two poles was the German coach.
So many people. I want to get back to Camille in just a minute, but so many people fell around that tight U-turn.
I just like there's something to be said. Well, that's the course, and it just takes some skill
every year.
There must be something they can do to make it.
Can we mention Galika, the Polish young talent who his debut he finishes in 24th, like the best debut ever by a teenager, one of the best by a teenager. And then the pursuit,
he just did the Superman.
just flying, arms straight out. he just disappears into the trees, and we're able to laugh.
You sent it to me, and then my first reaction was it must be AI or something.
Yeah, it was so silly
because you see a couple of guys just turn, having their trouble but turning, and then he just comes into the screen, straight lining it.
And I'm gonna read his this is his time back. So this is per lap, how far back he was from the top time. And you tell me when he went off the course. Plus 17 seconds, plus 17 seconds, plus 16 seconds, plus 1 minute and 57 seconds.
I mean, I can imagine that it would have taken him a minute and a half to find his way back to the course.
Yeah, it wasn't like he just went right off the edge. Like he went with speed off the edge.
I know. And just to be clear, he was totally fine. So
yeah. But, and we watched that downhill in Oslo last year, and we were like, oh, somebody's going to fall. And we ended up seeing a couple of people fall. You could tell from the first race
every year.
Yeah, that somebody was going
and
off the edge.
I'm thinking if they would even just make when they make that U-turn at the top, they turn left, and then they kind of go straight down, and then they have the U-turn to the right. That's so tricky. And I'm always thinking if they turn left a little more at the top where their speed is not as high, and make it a longer turn, wouldn't you be able to avoid that? Because it's every year, and it's icy on the inside and a pile of snow on the outside. And I've heard numerous commentators say the crew did an awesome job getting the treks in good shape, given the
so warm.
The circumstances, even between the two races on a day, but that turn, it blows my mind that they every year it's and it's, I'm all for a course being challenging. Like I think that gives places their own character and their own blueprint, I guess. But when it comes to that, it's normal that multiple athletes are falling. Like they could wreck a season, right? And we saw that with the Finnish girl. Like, to me, it looked like she fell because if you see another athlete lying in front of you all of a sudden, like,
yeah,
and it's just not really necessary. I think even like I said, if they would make the turn a little bit longer, and rounder, I guess. It would still be a challenging turn because the speed's pretty high.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it seems unnecessary at this point.
Yeah.
No, what do I know? I'm just an idiot sitting on my couch. But just seems like something that could be changed. It's too common. It's too common, and eventually it's going to affect the outcome of a race where a favorite is forced outside because of somebody else on the inside during a sprint or during a pursuit or a mass start. Like it's just going to get a little tricky.
It seems like there's not even like huge barriers, like soft cushion barriers or something.
Yeah, it's just I mean, and for better or worse, the people who have fallen have been not in the thick of the race, so we just haven't seen a major event. But I don't know.
And Philip Horn went down there.
Yeah. And obviously we started this because we were talking about Camille going down, and she still finished in the top 10. Yeah. But getting back to her, obviously another perfect shooting day. It's been an amazing season for her. She had to fight her way onto the team and is showing no signs of letting go after 2 more top 6 finishes. I just
unbelievable.
I'm so happy for her.
I mean, consider, did Button win the IBU Cup or was it Frey last year?
Frey. Yeah.
But Button must have been pretty close. And to see, both on the men's and women's, that the people doing well on the IBU Cup are doing very well in the World Cup too.
Yeah.
And it's not just the two of them, right?
Nope. People are coming up, Paula Botte has won all the races this past week on the IBU Cup, and I think that we will see her shortly on the World Cup, and I have no doubts that she will be very good. We obviously saw her win a race last year, so the top 10, top 15 on the IBU Cup is very good.
And who would you?
Oh,
who
this
would
is
be the French
question, right?
That you would drop?
Yeah. So they go from 7 to 6, and I would drop Gilon Guigona would be my one going from 7 to 6. So then you got 6. So you have Lou, Camille, Ocean, and Justine. Julia Simon and Jean Richard.
Jean Richard.
And I think
and then Mangin
was...
Yeah,
she's already down, right?
was in the first week, right?
Yeah. Of those, I would say Lou, obviously, Camille, and Ocean are locked in. I think they're all top 10 in the overall. And then you've got Justine is in 16th, Richard is in 17th, and then you've got Simone, who just came back.
I was surprised by Simone's comment where she said that it usually takes her about 4 races to kind of get back into it.
Yeah.
And my thought, and of course she has a lot of credit in the team based on previous performances, but at the same time, I'm like, is she going to get 4 races? Because her skiing was, very unusual for her ski speed.
Mm-hmm. Well, they got to make the choice, right? I
don't
know what else.
It gets better as we go on, but at the same time, if like I think, I don't know what's been agreed on, but I think in such a strong team, like you said, Botte winning like so many races on the IBU Cup level.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to give somebody 4 races to show that they're getting back to their highest level?
And with Botte, I mean, you're in the same situation the Norwegians were with Dala Skjebdal. I mean, he won every race that first weekend. What else do you ask of him, right? I mean, like, if you don't promote him, then that's sort
and to
of
be clear, I'm not suggesting that they should drop Simon right away, but
well, yeah, but
I was just more. It was more the comment of I need a couple more races to get back to my normal level, and on a team with so much pressure and competition coming from other athletes.
I would say too, it's not just Botte. I mean, there's Voldaya on the IBU Cup who has almost equally good results this season as well. It's currently 3rd in the overall. The pressure is going to be on there. And I think right now, unfortunately for Richard, is that even with her great performance last season, that she would be the odd one out. I think that they would give preference to Justine and Simone just based off of their prior performance. That's how I think it's going to happen. They could also do what the Norwegians have done in the past, especially with Annecy, which is bring everybody. So bring all 7 and then only race 6 for the sprint and pursuit, and the 7th person just races the mass start, which in this case, Richard is in 17th place. And it would be a little bit close. I did the math actually. It would be a little bit close for her to hang on to 17th, but I think she can do it. So right behind her is Vogt 11 points, Vital 21, Lotte 29, Alona Klemencic 30, Linamo 31, Maya Klutens 37, Jakiela 41, Hetik Valtz 44, and then 25th, which would be the last person automatically qualified into the mass start. Regina Ermetz and Inga Heimleinen are both tied, and they are 47 points back of Richard, and then you got Tannheimer and Johansson and Uygaard. So basically, you would need, if you were Regina or Inga Heimleinen, you would need to finish at least 18th place twice, basically. So you're asking, I mean, I think basically, long story short, I think that in order for all of those women to pass, Richard is asking for a lot to happen.
Yeah.
Certainly possible, but I think she probably will be safe in the top 25.
Yeah. Well, and that would also assume that she wouldn't score a single point herself, right?
But I'm saying if she didn't race. So if they brought 7, she just sat for the first 2 races and then just only raced the mass start. I think another option too is if somebody just happens to get sick. That could always be be a possibility too.
You mentioned earlier, Campbell, when he's a top 10, you don't even really think about it. Mm-hmm. I'm finding the Belgian women, they're having some really good results, and it's not even jumping out at you in a positive way, that it's almost like an expectation that, of course, they're in the top 10 or top 20 or like just having good, really solid races.
I totally agree. Yeah, with both Klutens and Lee, it's just Of course, we're seeing a Belgian flag up there. Of course, we're going to see them, in the mass start. It almost, when I was reading that list, I was like, Kloetens will make her way. Even if she isn't top 25 in the overall, she will be good enough of the remaining, athletes that she'll make her way in there. Yeah, I think it's fun, isn't it?
It totally is. Yeah.
It's like they've created a new nation to think about. It's like there were Belgian athletes, of course, before them, but usually
I think in general, like you see Slovakia in the top 5, you see Finland now mixing in with the with the bigger nations. Czech Republic is having some good results.
Estonia, both the men and women this week.
Yeah, Ukraine actually doing pretty good. I was kind of shocked to see Austria though, especially Lisa Hauser. Yeah. And apparently her performance in Hochfilzen is not very good over the years.
Isn't that her home? Doesn't she live there?
I don't know if she lives there, but I mean, I think she's from Kitzbühel originally, which is very close. But I don't know if it's the additional pressure or media attention or what it is, but obviously her shooting today with 2 penalty loops and it didn't look like the person that was on the podium a week ago.
No. Oh yeah, it looked totally different. Yeah, I think just not. And I mean, Anna looked decent.
Yeah, Juppe looks good. Anna Gantler looked good.
Mm-hmm. Well, Gantler, she had a great. Was she the lead leg yesterday? Regardless, I thought she looked excellent.
She was up there in her leg.
Yeah, she was excellent.
Yeah, she was first leg.
Yeah. She was first because she was right up there, and she was almost. Yeah. When she was up there, I really got images of like the home crowd sort of pulling them along, and they hung in the top 5 for a while, but
she exchanged in third, so
mega impressed with Slovakia, but especially you had Kuzmina in the third leg with just a huge pull to get them up there, and then was it Maria Romanova, who I have not thought very much about at all.
Did she shoot clean? And she's very young, right?
She had two spares.
So.
Yeah, 2 spares. But I was so impressed.
Like no penalty. Yeah.
I mean, that was just a huge moment for her. Yeah, to close it out.
There's just so much talent, and it's awesome to see. Estonians were right in the mix today with with the men.
Would they finish 8th?
I think they were in second or first at an exchange.
Yeah, it's so cool. There's so much diversity, and obviously, we're using a very narrow definition of diversity, but it was the best finish for the Estonian men since 2005. It's just incredible. The Slovakian women, I think that was their best finish, and since the 2018 Olympics, which is funny because Kuzmina had a penalty loop in that race. I did not remember that. The Estonian, was it the Finnish women, had their best finish since the 90s, finishing in 4th.
Do you remember, was it a Slovakian woman who, I think in the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver, in the warm-up.
Oh, yes.
Flew off the track, broke a rib.
Yes.
And then still raced in the relay.
Who was that?
You tell me.
I'll have to find.
Sorry. I thought you were teasing.
Yeah. No.
I can't imagine that feels really nice. To say the least.
Not at all. No, I mean, just the breathing would be so difficult because you're just constantly, especially in a race like that, expanding your chest cavity. Just ugh.
Yeah.
Obviously, also, if you break a rib and you are exercising that vigorously, you have the risk of having a collapsed lung because the broken part of the rib can rub against the lining of the lung and cause a little hole to leak out air. So that could be not just painful but tragic. So she's obviously they checked her out before they let her go. Was that? No, it wasn't. Was Kuzmina, was it?
She was on the relay. Maybe it wasn't a relay, but because I have a feeling that that person still got like a bronze medal or something.
That's wild. We'll double check that before next week.
Yeah, sorry, I went.
No. I'm very curious about it now. Can I do a quick Suvi Minkinen update?
Sure.
Sad sprint race, wearing yellow, but 3 misses, but looked much more like herself the last 2 days. That very nice anchor leg.
Isolated time in the pursuit, right?
Yeah, excellent anchor leg. She had a huge pursuit, moving herself like from 49th to almost into the top 10. So that was reassuring. She'll be back. All us Suvi Minkinen fans. Oh, this is somebody I wanted to mention. Lucy Sharvatova has really had a amazing shooting recovery. I don't know where this came from. What she did. She's not early in her career at all. She's never been a great shooter, but she hit 60% in the first race, and then she went 90, 90, 90, 90 since then. And that is, she in her career only has had 16 races where she has hit 90%. That's the best she's ever hit in a race. She's done it 4 times this year out of 5 races already. And she's obviously never done it that many times in the season before. She did it 4 straight times to start the year. So I'm really impressed, and it's kind of cool. I didn't expect somebody at this point in their career to make this big of a leap in their shooting, and just really cool to see. And maybe it falls apart. Hopefully not, but I just want to celebrate it now while it's going on.
And it just makes me think maybe at that age, because you just probably don't have since you don't have the energy of a 20-year-old, you're probably spending less time on skiing. Maybe because of that, you have more time on working on shooting, and, obviously you have more experience, both shooting, but also life experience, and maybe a little bit easier to not get all wound up in the shooting range. I don't know.
It's very cool, though.
It'd be interesting to read about, there's just so much interesting psychology going on in biathlon. It always fascinates me.
Yeah. And she may even not even know. She may be out there on the range, but I don't know why they're going down, but they are.
Yeah.
Polona Klemencic, the Slovenian who had a good season like 4 years ago. She seems to have refound her ski speed. Maybe it's 3 years ago now, but had a 10th place in the sprint. I think that was her second career top 10. I also want to mention Susan Kulm. She's the Estonian woman. She finished 13th in the sprint. Yep. So Estonia had a really nice weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I think it's also, we talked about it last year as well. It's nice to see that it seems the differences between WACs, between the nations, is not as large anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure there's athletes that are like, could have been better. There's not. It seemed like there was bigger gaps in previous seasons, and I mean, the conditions definitely have been tough and around zero, because I know that was a big issue in previous seasons where some nations were hitting it and others were completely not, and just tell.
Yep.
So, what did you think of Marit Øgaard?
Oh, the med student?
She's who apparently does her race, and then, she does a cool down and goes back to her studies in the evening.
I'm just the craziest thing. Yeah. She was 20 for 20 today. It's crazy. I don't know how you do it. I obviously did med school, and I was not trying to do anything else. I was just trying to do that, and it was hard enough.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Shadla Russo also wants to go to med school, so I'm gonna create a little list of my med student my med student biathletes, and we'll do a ranking. We'll make them a bib too. It'll be like a red cross bib.
I'm not making another 3D printed trophy.
No.
At least not for that.
I thought the Swiss women overall looked better than they did in Östersund, which is not saying much because that was a rough week. But Serg obviously had the 5th place, and we already mentioned Leah Meyer qualifying. That's very cool. Lena Strømhus came up from the IBU Cup, and
I know
she had immediately what did she finish in the sprint? 25th, but her course time, she had the 4th best course time, I think, of the in the entire field. That's kind of neat. Good for her.
I think IBU Cup is becoming a bit of a slingshot. We watched I don't know if you know the movie with Matt Damon, The Martian.
Oh yeah,
where they kind of they fly towards Earth and use the gravity as a slingshot to get back.
I think
maybe going to the IBU Cup is a bit of a slingshot where you come back faster.
Maybe.
But that is awesome to see that I don't know. It feels like IBU Cup was more sort of a degradation in the past.
Oh yeah, not anymore.
That's where
it's a real competition.
Are either too young or too old to be really competing on the World Cup, and now it feels like it's so
it's
close.
Yeah.
Well, and there was a girl from Sweden last season, right? That came from the IBU Cup and won.
Ella Halvorsen.
Ella Halvorsen, yeah. And she's been doing good too, hey?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
She's
totally steady. Speaking of people that it just doesn't surprise you to see them up in the top 10, I don't blink an eye if I see her there. Speaking of people on the IBU Cup, one of the women we would normally be talking about in the French, cluster is Sophie Chauveau, and goes to the IBU Cup, and it's not as easy. She got 8th, 13th, 11th, 36th, 15th, 12th. I mean, those are respectable finishes, to be sure, but it's not like she went down there and is first, third, second set,
Well, exactly, yeah.
There was like 2 more things I had on the World Cup. Wanted to mention that the U.S. men, I meant to mention this earlier, in the pursuit, all 4 men finished in the points, which hasn't happened in a couple of years. That was pretty cool.
Again, it's going from, being excited for 4th Americans qualifying for the pursuit to having 4 in the points, right? Yeah.
Well, I wanted to mention Sidorovic, who halfway through the pursuit was climbing up there. I think she was like fighting for the top 10. I think she missed a couple in her last in the standing, but I think that she looks better than she did in Östersund. I think it's coming together. So that was cool. And then this is actually the real thing I wanted to mention. Really cool event happened this week so the IBU Cup, they ran an individual on Thursday. And then there were 2 women who ran in the individual on Thursday, woke up on Friday, found out that there was an illness on their team, went from Ridnon, where they were racing in Italy, up to Hochfilzen and raced the sprint the very next day. And so obviously tired legs. And it was Anna Magnusson and Aniha Sabul, Sabule from Latvia. And Anna Magnusson finished 35th in the sprint, coming off of I think she had a top 10 in the individual and on the IBU Cup. So the very next day. And then Aniha, she set a career best on the IBU Cup in the individual, turns around, goes to Hochfilzen, sets a career best in the sprint for her World Cup. I was like, that's awesome you just find out, I just ran an individual yesterday. You had these great races, turn around, and then the very next day to go out there and do it again. So that's just an unusual.
I forgot who it was, but it was another name of an athlete who basically just barely made it on time. Like I think they were already zeroing by when they arrived in Hochfilzen.
Yeah. It's just so cool. I reached out to both of them just to say, that was a really cool thing that you did. Because what are the, I don't know, how do you prepare for that? But that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Quick look at the IBU Cup if you've got nothing else.
Yeah, go ahead.
So big weekend on the IBU Cup in Italy, and France took all the spots. It was pretty crazy. I don't remember what it was, but they took like 7 of the 9 women's podium positions for the weekend, and on the men's side, they took the top 4 spots one day and the top 3 spots another day. It was a lot of French athletes racing very well, to the point where I actually was thinking, we spent all this time talking about the French women, but I think the French men are also going to have an interesting conversation to have, because they've got some men coming up that are like 23, 24 years old who are, I think they, like Valentin Lejeune and Damien Lebay, who had podiums, all weekend long. It's not like, unfortunately, Emilien Claude coming back from his back injury is not performing at his height yet. And Antonin Guignard already got sent down. Oscar Lombardo came up, and he was sort of he didn't have a blowing the doors off weekend. So I'm just wondering if we see more turnover on the men's side as well. It gives some of those younger guys a chance.
I'm sorry, I forgot his name right now, but the guy that that we had on the podcast that went to race for England.
Oh, Jacques, yes. So he had I think he was at 12th in the race like the first race on the IBU Cup this past week. Let me look it up real quick. Men's individual, he was, in 12th. So he scored himself a pile of points to work on on the Olympics. The women's individual was really cool though. In Italy, you had on Debesch, the Norwegian who's now competing for Denmark. She finished in 6th, and according to Christian Wolf, will be at the Olympics now. So we could, so that's very cool. So we'll have at least 2 women. So Ukulek and Debesch, if we can get another man there with Sondre Slettemark and put ourselves a mixed relay out there, would be kind of cool.
It's definitely,
the Chinese are back. Yunmeng Chu raced, and she had a career best 7th in the individual. It's kind of neat. And I mentioned Anna Magnusson, she finished at 9th. That was the big stuff that I think that happened on the IBU Cup. I mean, really, it was the French women just packing their way into the top 5. It's kind of crazy. I'm really curious. By the time that everybody listens to this, it'll already be announced what's going to happen. But I'm just really, really curious. Oh, last thing on the IBU Cup, Anna Kabinger, she's back.
Oh yeah,
she finished in 5th in the sprint on Saturday. Really wanted to mention that. She had a pretty good individual, and then 5th in the sprint, and that is just so cool. I mean, obviously a huge road back for her, physical and mental, and just really happy. And I think that there's a chance that we could see her on the World Cup at some point later this year. Keep that up, and you're gonna find your way there. So I'm really happy for it. That was just really cool. I had gotten to the point where I was really worried if she was going to be able to do that.
No, for sure. Yeah, she's gone through a really tough time, and hopefully she comes out stronger in the end, right?
Well, that's what she told us, right? When like persistence is her superpower, and I'm really hoping that that goes well for her. I just wanted, I could not be cheering harder for her.
Any thoughts on Issy? Other than the crowd going to be nuts, and have you checked the weather by any chance?
I have actually, but it's been a couple days. Let's see if it's changed. It didn't look great when I saw it last time.
I hope to.
Looks like
from the Bambi skiing.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be above freezing, about 6 to 8 degrees, and chance of rain the first 2 days. Excuse me, chance of rain on Friday and Saturday.
Are we going to have a mass start, I'm assuming?
Mass start on Sunday, pursuits on Saturday, and I think sprint Thursday, sprint Friday is how it works out. The fans are going to be crazy. We know that. They're passionate and active, and they're going to be wonderful. I hope that they're all supportive. We talked about fans.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Yeah. Hope they're all supportive. I think they will be, but,
Well,
yeah.
Whoever send those messages to Justine or any other people on the team, they're not fans, in my opinion. They may
I agree.
Be of it.
I did some work, so I've been doing these previews every week that I've been posting. People seem to like them. I think the last one was like my most viewed thing I've ever put up on the website, which is cool. I really like that. But no, one of the things I do is I look at who finished in the top 5 for the last 5 times that the World Cup came through that particular venue.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For Honesty, you would have to go back beyond like 2019. So I just only did 4 weeks. But for the women, the top 2 women in terms of top 5 finishes, Elvira and Julia Simon. So no major surprises there. For the men, it is QFM and Laegreid. But then somebody else we mentioned, Christiansen, has 5 top 5s over that span. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 5th.
So unlikely to win, is that what you're saying?
Well, maybe he needs that to complete.
Yeah,
so he's got to get it. So maybe he's going to take the mass start. I don't know.
What are Lou's results? Do you happen to have that in front of you?
Lou has that seems unlikely that I have Lou as having no top 5 finishes at any point in her career.
She's only done 2, probably, right?
Yeah,
in that time span.
Yeah, so time for her to get some.
Yeah.
A bunch of women.
I really hope to see her back, and I always bring up the smile of Tan Revolt and other athletes, and I find Lou definitely looks a bit more tense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether that's related to the whole situation, who knows? But I really hope that we can see the Lou that we've seen in previous season and even in the last couple of weeks too.
I agree. Her results in Honesty, 9th, 29th, 6th, 35th, 18th, 14th. Seems likely to change this week.
A lot of room to improve.
Yep. Yeah. And Lou is a fantastic person. We saw how amazing she is, the way she handled everything that happened at the end of last season. I think that the friendship, the true friendship that has evolved between her and Franzi, the way that they spent time at each other's houses this summer, and they clearly have it's a genuine good feelings between each other. And that doesn't happen if you're not a good person.
Was there any news on Preutz being available next week? Because I'm guessing she's still recovering from both flu and COVID.
She is still recovering. It sounds like she might be back, but Selena Grotian is not having as smooth a recovery process, so she may not be. We obviously know Nick Hartweg has already said he's not coming back until January. It's been a tough year for illness, actually.
Yeah. Well, I definitely, for someone like Nick, seems to have been struggling a couple of seasons now with health.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I would rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. So I'll be hopeful that he's getting it out of the way now, and it will be smooth sailing for the next few months.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, looking forward to seeing a yellow bib on a yellow and blue outfit next week.
Yeah, I think I'm very excited about that. Big week.
Although sorry, let me just double check. I don't know. I have a feeling that Vittozzi is just getting better. I wouldn't be surprised to see the yellow on a blue Azzurri.
Vittozzi's got a ways to go. She's 110 points back, but actually Anna Magnusson's got
and that means
solid
that
lead.
I'm thinking that Anna is not going to do well. So let's forget about that.
Let's not speak that into
I was just more thinking that it would look pretty nice on the Azzurri
I think so too.
suit as well.
I think so too.
Maybe Doro is another.
Get back into yellow.
Yeah. No, let's keep it on Anna.
Let's keep it on Anna for a while. Well, you know who else?
Right.
Speaking of Azzurri blue, who could be wearing it? We're not even thinking about it, but it could be Giacomel.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
There you go. Yep. Giacomel and Anna. That'll be that for going to Oberhof.
And that's 67 points. That should be doable.
Yeah, it's doable.
For Giacomel. Yeah.
Yep. Just win. He's got it. Win plus some help, and he's got it.
To say about that. And Button. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yep. All right, man. Let's get out of
here. Thanks for listening, everybody.
As always.
As usual.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And we'll be back after Annecy.
Absolutely. Take care.
Okay. Take care, man.